In the heart of the countryside, enveloped by a dense shroud of ancient trees, stood the imposing Willowbrook Manor, an architectural masterpiece that both mesmerized and frightened all who laid eyes upon it. With its dark, Gothic facade adorned with intricate carvings and gargoyles, the mansion seemed to be a relic from a forgotten era, a place where time stood still, and the echoes of the past reverberated through its walls. Generations of locals had whispered about the manor's checkered history, passing down eerie tales of tragedy and mystery like precious heirlooms. The mere mention of Willowbrook Manor sent a collective shiver down their spines, and children dared each other to approach its wrought iron gates, only to flee in terror at the first hint of a creaking floorboard or an errant gust of wind. The most haunting and enduring legend centered around the tragic tale of Lady Genevieve, the former mistress of the manor, whose presence was said to still wander the grand halls, her ethereal figure sometimes glimpsed in fleeting moments of the moon's pale light. As the story goes, Lady Genevieve had been a figure of benevolence, known far and wide for her boundless kindness and compassionate heart, especially toward the impoverished villagers who sought solace within her gracious domain. However, like the stark contrast between day and night, her husband, the enigmatic and reclusive Lord Archibald, was rumored to be a man of shadow and secrets. Whispers echoed through the nearby hamlets, telling tales of his malevolent presence, dealings with the occult, and dark rituals conducted under the cloak of night. Some said he had delved too greedily into arcane arts, delving into forbidden knowledge that corrupted his soul and forever changed the fate of Willowbrook Manor. As legends often meld truth with fiction, the chilling reality was that one fateful stormy night, a blood-curdling scream pierced the inky darkness, and the entire countryside held its breath in anticipation of the morning light, dreading the sinister truths it might unveil. With the breaking dawn, Lady Genevieve's lifeless body was discovered in the sprawling gardens, her once bright eyes forever dulled, her graceful spirit extinguished. The circumstances surrounding her untimely demise were shrouded in an impenetrable cloak of mystery and suspicion, and the main suspect, her husband, Lord Archibald, had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only fear, grief, and unanswered questions. As time meandered on like a restless spirit, Willowbrook Manor witnessed a series of inexplicable and tragic incidents. The eerie silence of its halls was intermittently disturbed by disembodied footsteps, ghostly echoes of a bygone era seeking to be heard and understood. Local superstitions painted a picture of an ancient curse that had enshrouded the sprawling estate in a veil of darkness, a curse that seemed to seep into the very stone and mortar that comprised its formidable structure. However, amidst the looming sense of foreboding, Willowbrook Manor's architecture and sheer allure continued to captivate those drawn to its enigmatic charm. Some viewed it as a romantic relic, a place where 1,000 love stories could bloom, while others found themselves inexplicably drawn to its brooding aura, succumbing to a morbid fascination that both thrilled and terrified. For Amelia, a brave young historian with an insatiable hunger for untold stories and forgotten histories, the allure of Willowbrook Manor was irresistible. With each whispered tale that reached her ears, her determination to uncover the truth grew stronger. She knew that behind the veil of chilling legends lay a narrative that deserved to be resurrected, a story that needed to be brought into the light. Thus, Amelia embarked on a treacherous journey, guided by the dim light of flickering candles and the faint footsteps of the past. Her arrival at Willowbrook Manor was accompanied by a peculiar sensation that crawled up her spine, a sensation that made the hairs on her neck stand at attention. It was as if the very essence of the mansion acknowledged her presence, welcoming her into its ancient embrace, yet simultaneously warning her of the haunting secrets that awaited her exploration. Undaunted by the spine-chilling atmosphere and the disconcerting feeling of being watched, Amelia stepped forth into the haunted realm of Willowbrook Manor, prepared to confront the ghostly guardian that had captivated the imagination of generations. Little did she know that her own journey of unraveling the manor's history would be inextricably intertwined with the echoes of Lady Genevieve's sorrowful past, leading her down a path of terrifying discovery and unforeseen encounters with the otherworldly. Amelia immersed herself in the dark history of Willowbrook Manor, determined to unveil the truth behind Lady Genevieve's tragic fate. With the diligent focus of a seasoned detective, she combed through the vast archives, poring over old documents and musty records that carried the weight of decades of forgotten memories. Each page seemed to whisper secrets, and Amelia could almost feel the spirits of the past reaching out to her from the faded ink. The story of Lady Genevieve emerged from the depths of time, a tale of kindness and malevolence woven together like a tapestry of light and shadow. Locals often reminisced about her graceful presence, her captivating smile, and the generous heart that seemed to touch the lives of all who crossed her path. She was revered, a beacon of hope in a world that sometimes felt perpetually shrouded in darkness. In stark contrast, her husband, Lord Archibald, was a man whose very name sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to speak of him. The villagers' tales were filled with ominous warnings of his malevolent deeds, his clandestine dealings with the occult, and rumors of his pursuit of forbidden knowledge that bordered on madness. As Amelia unraveled the sinister threads of his past, she couldn't help but wonder if the manor itself had borne witness to his darkest secrets, serving as both witness and accomplice to his maleficent ways. The night of Lady Genevieve's untimely demise remained etched in history, a moment frozen in time like a spectral apparition. The storm outside mirrored the tempestuous emotions that churned within the mansion's walls. It was a night of dread and terror, where the howling winds seemed to echo the mournful cries of Lady Genevieve, and the lightning flashes illuminated the despair etched upon her face as she met her tragic end. Yet, despite her death, the torment at Willowbrook Manor did not cease. Over the years, the mansion's halls bore witness to a series of inexplicable and tragic events, as if Lady Genevieve's restless spirit refused to find solace in the afterlife. Local legends spoke of strange apparitions that appeared fleetingly in the darkness, mournful whispers that carried on the midnight breeze, and eerie shadows that danced in the moonlight. Such occurrences only deepened the belief in the curse that clung to the estate like a vengeful specter. As Amelia immersed herself in the chilling accounts of Willowbrook Manor's past, the line between reality and legend began to blur. She found herself captivated by the ethereal presence of Lady Genevieve, as if the ghostly mistress herself was guiding her through the labyrinth of secrets that lay hidden within the manor's walls. As she continued her research, Amelia stumbled upon accounts of servants who had served the manor in years long past. Their entries, written in trembling hands, spoke of ghostly encounters that left them in a state of perpetual terror. Some claimed to have heard the sound of weeping emanating from the dark corners of the estate, as if Lady Genevieve's heart-wrenching sorrow lingered in the very air they breathed. Mr. Johnson, the elderly gardener who had dedicated a lifetime to the service of Willowbrook Manor, shared harrowing tales of his own encounters with the otherworldly. His eyes would glaze over with a mix of fear and reverence as he recounted the sight of Lady Genevieve's ghostly figure, adorned in a flowing gown, wandering the moonlit gardens, her luminous form radiating both beauty and pain. Rumors of a spectral presence didn't end there. Guests who dared to stay the night within the mansion's walls told tales of inexplicable cold spots and the unsettling feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. Some claimed to have seen the shadowy figure of a veiled woman drifting through the hallways, her mournful face obscured by darkness. As Amelia delved deeper into the layers of Willowbrook Manor's history, she found herself entangled in a web of darkness that seemed to stretch beyond time itself. The mansion's secrets were like a thorny maze, and with each discovery, she felt herself drawn closer to the heart of the enigma that had plagued the estate for generations. Despite the chilling encounters and the eerie atmosphere, Amelia's determination to uncover the truth remained unyielding. She knew that untangling the tangled threads of the past was essential to understanding the spectral puzzle that was Willowbrook Manor. However, as she continued to unearth the long-buried secrets, she couldn't help but wonder if the ghostly guardian that haunted the estate would tolerate her relentless pursuit, or if it would unleash its wrath upon her, as it had done to those who dared to tread its haunted halls before her. As Amelia delved deeper into the enigmatic history of Willowbrook Manor, she found herself ensnared in a world where reality and the supernatural intertwined like ivy creeping along ancient stone walls. The mansion seemed to pulse with an eerie energy, as if the ghosts of the past were eager to share their untold stories with her. Each night, as Amelia retreated to her room, the grandeur of the manor's architecture took on a sinister aura. The creaking floorboards and the flickering candlelight cast dancing shadows on the walls, making every corner seem like a secret passage into the unknown. Yet, despite the unease that lingered, she remained steadfast, determined to uncover the mysteries that had long eluded the grasp of both time and mortal comprehension. In her pursuit of the paranormal, Amelia set up an array of cameras and audio recorders throughout the manor, hoping to capture any evidence of the supernatural. As the hours passed, the hushed silence of the night was broken only by the sound of the wind whispering through the trees outside. But in the darkness, the cameras picked up strange orbs of light that seemed to dart and dance, defying all logical explanation. Reviewing the recorded footage was both exhilarating and unsettling for Amelia. Shadows flitted across the screen, their movements appearing purposeful, as if the spirits of the past were reliving their tragedies in an eternal loop. Faint, ethereal voices whispered hauntingly, their words muffled and indecipherable, leaving Amelia with a sense of frustration and curiosity. As she meticulously analyzed the audio recordings, she noticed peculiar fluctuations in the electronic signals, signs that seemed to hint at an unseen force interacting with the material world. Her heart raced, and a chill ran down her spine as she contemplated the implications of her findings. It was as if Lady Genevieve's ghostly guardian was attempting to communicate with her, revealing fragments of its sorrowful existence that lay trapped between realms. As the nights wore on, Amelia's sleep became increasingly restless. Vivid nightmares haunted her slumber, blending the dark memories of the manor's past with her own present reality. In her dreams, Lady Genevieve's mournful figure appeared, her ghostly eyes imploring Amelia for help, while Lord Archibald's malevolent presence lurked menacingly in the shadows. One night, as Amelia paced the dimly lit hallways, she heard a faint, melodic voice echoing through the mansion's emptiness. The haunting lullaby seemed to carry the weight of sorrow and longing, pulling at the strings of Amelia's heart. As she followed the sound, it led her to a forgotten chamber, its door ajar, as if inviting her to step inside. With trembling hands, Amelia pushed the door open, and to her astonishment, she found herself face to face with a spectral apparition. A woman, clothed in a tattered white gown, stood before her, her translucent figures surrounded by an ethereal glow. It was Lady Genevieve herself, her visage mirroring both pain and longing, reaching out as if seeking solace from the living world. Amelia's breath caught in her throat, her heart pounding like the beat of a war drum. She hesitated for a moment, torn between terror and compassion. But something in Lady Genevieve's eyes spoke of an unspoken plea, a yearning to be understood and acknowledged. Summoning her courage, Amelia stepped forward, her voice soft and soothing, as she spoke to the apparition with kindness and empathy. The room seemed to pulse with energy, and Amelia felt an overwhelming sense of grief wash over her, as if she had tapped into the depths of Lady Genevieve's sorrow. In that fleeting encounter, Amelia glimpsed the tragedy that had bound Lady Genevieve's spirit to Willowbrook Manor. The longing for justice, the yearning to find peace, and the hope of redemption were all etched upon the ghostly figure's face, as if she yearned for her story to be heard and her restless soul to find release. From that moment on, Amelia's investigation took on a deeper meaning. No longer merely a quest for historical facts, it became a spiritual journey, an exploration of the human condition that transcended the boundaries of life and death. She understood that the tormented spirits of Willowbrook Manor sought to communicate, not to frighten or harm, but to reveal the truths that had long been suppressed in the shadows of time. Each night, Amelia conversed with the otherworldly entities, employing a blend of reverence and curiosity, offering a glimmer of hope to the tormented souls. It was as if the mansion had become a portal between two realms, a place where past and present coalesced in a delicate dance of mystery and revelation. With each passing day, Amelia felt more like a medium than a historian, guided by an unseen force that led her deeper into the labyrinth of the manor's haunted history. As she continued to peel back the layers of darkness, she realized that in uncovering the secrets of Willowbrook Manor, she was also confronting the secrets within herself, fears, desires, and uncertainties that mirrored the inner turmoil of those long gone but never forgotten. Though the nights remained eerie and fraught with inexplicable occurrences, Amelia no longer felt alone in the mansion's haunting embrace. Lady Genevieve's spectral presence, once feared, became a source of comfort, her apparition a constant reminder of the weight of history and the indomitable spirit that lingered within the ancient walls of Willowbrook Manor. In the face of the unknown, Amelia's heart swelled with empathy and compassion. She felt a deep responsibility to honor the memories of those who had been silenced by time, to grant them the closure they sought, and to ensure that their stories, both tragic and triumphant, would be forever etched into the annals of history. And so, as the moon waxed and waned, and the night sky continued to bear witness to the haunted secrets of Willowbrook Manor, Amelia's journey of exploration and enlightenment pressed on, forging a profound connection between the living and the departed, between history and eternity. In the heart of that enigmatic mansion, a bridge had formed between the worlds, and the truth, like a guiding light, beckoned her ever forward, illuminating the path to reconciliation and transcendence. As Amelia's investigation deepened, she found herself increasingly entwined with the restless spirit of Lady Genevieve, whose ethereal presence seemed to permeate every corner of Willowbrook Manor. The ghostly guardian's emotions ebbed and flowed like a tempestuous sea, leaving Amelia both in awe of her tragic tale and wary of the spirit's growing intensity. One night, as Amelia lay in her bed, the room plunged into an icy chill, and the air seemed to thicken with an almost tangible energy. She felt a weight on her chest, making it difficult to breathe, and an unseen force seemed to pin her to the bed as if to convey a dire message. Fear and fascination battled within her as she realized that Lady Genevieve's spectral presence had manifested in a manner that was more powerful and potent than ever before. The ghostly figure hovered above her, her once beautiful visage contorted with a mixture of sorrow and rage. Her eyes, once filled with compassion, now blazed with an otherworldly fire, as if centuries of resentment had finally erupted into an inferno of fury. It was a side of Lady Genevieve that Amelia had never encountered before, and it sent shivers down her spine. In that eerie encounter, Amelia felt as though she had become a living vessel, a conduit through which Lady Genevieve's tormented emotions flowed. It was as if the spirit sought to communicate not with words, but with raw, primal feelings that transcended the boundaries of language. As the ghostly figure's wrath intensified, the walls of the room seemed to groan in protest, and the very foundations of Willowbrook Manor seemed to tremble beneath the weight of the spectral energy. Books flew from shelves, curtains billowed wildly as if caught in a storm, and the room became a cauldron of supernatural activity. In that moment, Amelia realized that Lady Genevieve's quest for justice had evolved into something more, a relentless pursuit of vengeance against those who had wronged her. In the midst of the ghostly maelstrom, Amelia mustered every ounce of courage within her to address the anguished spirit. She spoke not as an outsider, but as someone who empathized with Lady Genevieve's pain, who had borne witness to her sorrowful existence, and who desired to help her find a path to peace. "My lady," Amelia began, her voice steady yet filled with compassion, "I understand your anger, your need for justice. Your tragic fate was unjust, and the pain you carry is immense. But vengeance is not the path to release. Let me be the one to tell your story, to bring your truth into the light. Allow me to seek justice for you, not through rage, but through the power of knowledge and remembrance." In the charged atmosphere, a moment of stillness enveloped the room. The ghostly figure seemed to contemplate Amelia's words, her expression softening as if touched by the genuine concern in the young historian's voice. The raging storm of supernatural energy began to subside, and the temperature in the room gradually returned to normal. Amelia's heart swelled with hope as she saw the change in Lady Genevieve's demeanor. It was as if her message had reached the restless spirit, and a glimmer of understanding and trust had been kindled between them. In the days that followed, Amelia continued her conversations with the ethereal guardian, forging a peculiar bond that surpassed the barriers of life and death. Lady Genevieve's presence became a familiar and guiding force, leading Amelia to hidden passageways and secret chambers within the manor, where long-lost artifacts and forgotten letters spoke of lives lived and lost. Amelia meticulously pieced together the fragmented puzzle of Willowbrook Manor's history, shedding light on the secrets that had long been obscured by the passage of time. As the stories of Lady Genevieve and the other inhabitants of the manor were unveiled, Amelia realized that the specters that haunted the estate were not merely vengeful apparitions, but beings with their own desires, fears, and hopes. With her newfound understanding of the mansion's ghosts, Amelia sought to bridge the gap between the realms of the living and the dead. She organized a ceremony to honor the memory of Lady Genevieve and all those whose lives had been entwined with Willowbrook Manor, inviting locals from nearby villages to participate. The ceremony was an evocative tribute, a bittersweet symphony of remembrance that echoed through the hallowed halls of the manor. As the attendees shared their own stories and offered prayers of peace, an air of catharsis washed over the estate, as if the souls of the departed had finally found solace in the shared moments of human connection. In the midst of the ceremony, a gentle wind swept through the room, carrying with it a sense of serenity and closure. Amelia felt as if Lady Genevieve's spirit had embraced her one last time, thanking her for the understanding and compassion she had extended. As the night drew to a close, Amelia stood outside Willowbrook Manor, gazing up at its formidable facade. The mansion seemed to exude a newfound tranquility, as if the echoes of the past had found their peace at last. The weight of history still rested upon its ancient shoulders, but it was no longer a burden of anguish. Rather, it had become a tapestry of tales woven into the very essence of the mansion's existence. In the end, Amelia had not only unburdened the tormented souls of Willowbrook Manor, but also found a sense of fulfillment within herself. The encounter with the ghostly guardian had taught her that the pursuit of knowledge could be an act of healing, that the past was not to be feared but embraced as an intrinsic part of the present. As she bid farewell to the once-haunted estate, Amelia knew that the story of Willowbrook Manor and Lady Genevieve would forever be etched in her heart, a testament to the enduring power of compassion, understanding, and the unyielding resilience of the human spirit, both in life and beyond. And though the mansion's halls may have been haunted by sorrow and tragedy, it had become a place where the past and present coexisted harmoniously, united by the ghostly guardian who had led Amelia on a journey of revelation, redemption, and the enduring power of the human connection. As the final chapter of Amelia's enthralling journey at Willowbrook Manor unfolded, she knew that the time had come to confront the lingering spirit of Lady Genevieve and help her find the peace she so desperately sought. With each step she took through the mansion's dimly lit corridors, Amelia could feel a palpable tension in the air, as if the very walls were aware of the profound moment that was about to unfold. Drawing upon the knowledge she had gleaned from her investigations and the deep connection she had forged with the ghostly guardian, Amelia prepared to perform a ritual that would allow Lady Genevieve's restless soul to find release. She meticulously set up candles and arranged symbolic objects, channeling ancient practices that she hoped would create a bridge between the living and the dead. The night enveloped Willowbrook Manor like a soft, velvety cloak, and a hushed silence filled the air, as if even the nocturnal creatures sensed the gravity of the moment. As Amelia commenced the ritual, she felt an overwhelming sense of responsibility, knowing that the outcome could shape the fate not only of the spirit she sought to help, but also of the mansion itself. In the flickering candlelight, the ethereal figure of Lady Genevieve appeared, her presence both haunting and captivating. Her translucent form seemed to shimmer like moonlight on water, and her eyes, once filled with sorrow and rage, now held a glimmer of hope, as if sensing the possibility of liberation. Amelia spoke with a voice infused with warmth and reverence, reciting words she had learned from ancient texts, hoping they would resonate with the restless soul before her. She entreated the spirit to let go of her earthly ties, to embrace the light and transcend the realm of suffering that bound her to the mansion. As the ritual progressed, the atmosphere in the room seemed to shift, and the air hummed with energy. The candles flickered and danced, casting an otherworldly glow upon the scene. The very walls of Willowbrook Manor seemed to breathe, as if acknowledging the momentous occasion. With each word uttered, Amelia felt a connection to Lady Genevieve deepening, as if they were bound by an invisible thread of empathy and shared experience. The young historian's heart swelled with a mix of trepidation and hope, hoping against hope that her efforts would yield the desired outcome. In the midst of the ritual, Amelia saw glimpses of Lady Genevieve's memories, the joy of her wedding day, the sorrow of her untimely end, and the centuries of loneliness that followed. Tears welled in Amelia's eyes as she realized the depth of the spirit's pain, but she knew that only by embracing the truth and releasing the burdens of the past could Lady Genevieve find the peace she longed for. In a moment of profound vulnerability, Lady Genevieve reached out to Amelia, her transparent hand hovering over the young woman's own. It was as if the barriers between the living and the dead were momentarily lifted, and they existed as two souls, unbound by the limitations of flesh and bone. "Thank you," Amelia whispered, her voice trembling with emotion, "for allowing me to be a witness to your story. You have endured so much, and I promise to carry your memory with respect and love." The ghostly guardian's countenance softened, her spectral form seeming to emanate a sense of gratitude and acceptance. It was a pivotal moment, a connection between two beings who had traversed the boundaries of time to understand each other's pain. With a final incantation, Amelia concluded the ritual, the room filled with an otherworldly light that seemed to transcend the boundaries of the physical world. The atmosphere grew still, and a profound sense of serenity enveloped them. In the silence that followed, Lady Genevieve's figure began to fade, her translucent form growing ever fainter until it was but a shimmering wisp in the night. She gave Amelia one last ethereal smile, a gesture that conveyed a sense of farewell and gratitude, before she vanished entirely, leaving behind a lingering aura of peace. As the first rays of dawn graced the horizon, Amelia knew that Lady Genevieve's spirit had finally found release, free to traverse the realms beyond. The mansion itself seemed to breathe a sigh of relief, as if the weight of centuries of sorrow had been lifted from its venerable structure. In the aftermath of the ritual, Willowbrook Manor took on an air of tranquility that had eluded it for centuries. The ghostly encounter ceased, and a sense of calm settled over the estate, as if the restless spirits had finally found their way home. The tale of Amelia's encounter with the ghostly guardian and her quest to unveil the secrets of Willowbrook Manor spread far and wide. The once haunted mansion became a place of intrigue and fascination for those who sought to explore the enigmatic realms that lay between life and death. For Amelia, the journey had been transformative. She had not only uncovered the haunting history of Willowbrook Manor, but also discovered a deeper understanding of the human condition, the profound impact of compassion, and the resilience of the human spirit even in the face of insurmountable darkness. As she bid farewell to the mansion that had become her portal to another world, Amelia carried with her the memories of Lady Genevieve and the other spirits she had encountered. In the depths of her heart, she knew that she had not only laid the ghostly guardian to rest, but also left behind a legacy of understanding, compassion, and the power of embracing the past to shape a more hopeful future. As she walked away from the imposing gates of Willowbrook Manor, Amelia's spirit felt lighter, as if the burden of the past had been replaced with a sense of purpose and fulfillment. The echoes of history that had once haunted her had become a guiding melody, leading her on new adventures, new stories, and new quests for truth and understanding in the ever-unfolding tapestry of existence. And so, the legend of the ghostly guardian of Willowbrook Manor lived on, not as a tale of terror but as a testament to the profound capacity of the human heart to heal, to forgive, and to embrace the light that ultimately overcomes the darkest of shadows.